You meet someone who's 100 and they're like, look, everybody I know is gone. Everybody I loved died a long time ago. I don't know what I did. I almost feel cursed. I didn't know eating this many vegetables would do this to me. I had no idea. Listen to me. Everyone that I love is gone. And then you're like, well, I'm here. I barely know you. Which one are you? Because here's to be fair to them, once you get to great grandchildren, you can't be expected to remember those names. That is unfair to that person. That person has lived easily like 89 years. They're not going to remember every great grandchild, and there's no way that every great grandkid is gonna like spend enough time with them that they're able to tell them from like anybody. You know what I mean? So you're talking to them, you're great, maybe even great. I don't know how long it takes to get to 100. Maybe you got 3 G's on it. And they're telling you, listen, come closer. If I don't go soon, you do what needs to be done. You're like, great granddad, I can't. You can't ask me to do something. Like, of course I can ask you. I don't remember which one you are. You can't ask me to. Of course I can ask you. Just do it. How would I even do it? And then they over here, because they in one of those like beds. You know what I mean? Once you hit 3 digits, they put you in that bed and they're like, you really don't need to get out. Like, there's nothing for you to do. We'll go ahead and bring everything to you. Don't stop. You've been bending knees for a century. That would be unfair to ask you to get up and grab the remote. Go back, because I don't know if you've seen like 100-year-old person's bed, but it's state of the art. No, they look like Professor Xavier in there. They got a button for everything. How would I even do it? And then they over here like, what does that mean? What are you trying to tell me? Just flip the pillow. No, I can't do that. Of course you can. Look, I fought 2 world wars. I fought in both world wars, all right? I didn't kill people. I wasn't even sure if they were on the other side. I just did a lot of killing. Yeah. And if it's that bad for someone who's 100, imagine somebody that's 250. That's what we're like. 250 years. Wow. And we can't even agree on history. You know, depending on which state you go to school in, you get some very different history lessons. There's some that'll tell you like the whole history of the country, which is, it's as checkered as any other country. We're just more sensitive about it. No matter where you go, if you actually learn the history of any country, there's been brutality of person to person from the beginning of time. We're not exactly special. We did do some things way longer and worse than other countries. But every country is going to have parts of their past that they're ashamed of, and then whether or not you cover that up will show your characters, the people leaving a legacy behind for the people coming up behind you. But you'll go to some places and they'll be able to tell you. These kids will be able to tell you. As long as ChatGPT didn't do their homework, they will be able to tell you the history of this country. And then you go some places and you're like, I don't even think what you're saying was written in a book. I think you just glomming on to certain parts based off of what little information they gave you. It's like, oh yeah, the Mayflower got here, and then all the pilgrims were like, oh, wow, no one's here. And then they built a bunch of log cabins, and then something Abraham Lincoln, and then out of nowhere, Abraham Lincoln, he liked to go to the movies too much, so he was at the theater, and then one of the actors was like, stop leaving bad reviews, and so they popped him real quick, and then, he never yelped again, and then you fast forward a little bit, and then this really nice guy, Martin Luther King Jr., died for everybody's sins. And so now everything's fine. And you're like, which part of Florida are you from? This is very curious. I'm confused. I'm very confused. I'm sure some people don't even know to be confused. There's a very puzzling thing happening right now where there's a lot of events coming up. There's going to be a ton of celebrations, and nobody really knows how or why or which are going to be the ones they want to attend, because there's a thing called America 250. America 250 has been planned for like a decade now. It was put together by Congress, and it is a mix of private citizens and lawmakers coming together to have like a completely nonpartisan celebration of the country and its 250th birthday. And there's like money that they've set aside, and there's all these things they plan to do. And then there's a thing called Freedom 250. And Freedom 250 is basically supposed to be all that stuff, but it is Trump doing it. And so then it's just funny because it's like we were already planning a birthday party. It's one of the Trumpiest things to do for Trump to be like, I'm planning a birthday party right next to your birthday party. I bet you everybody come to my birthday party. It's like, all right, you could have just supported this one. No, we got to do it my way. And true to like Trump branding and marketing, it is confusing. And then Freedom 250, they had a big bash plan, like a big old concert. They had plans. And when I tell you they were bringing the heat, these people, for Freedom 250, they weren't messing around. Freedom 250, they were like, we need the heavy hitters. Y'all aren't even ready for the names they booked. Y'all not ready. Freedom 250 lineup gets announced. And they have Milli Vanilli. Yeah, you heard me. Milli Vanilli. They booked Vanilla Ice. That Vanilla Ice. They booked Flo Rida. They even booked Young MC. white people. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be candid for a second, be vulnerable. I also didn't know who Young MC was. Like, that one does get a pass. They announced this lineup and like, they even booked Bret Michaels. You know Bret Michaels from that one and only VH1 show where he was trying to find love. It was like The Bachelor, but sadder. They announced this lineup, and honestly, it was a moment of unity. It was a moment that brought people together across both sides of the aisle. I'm talking about Democrat, Republican, progressive, conservative, leftist, centrist. Everyone came together to say, what is this? What? Y'all booked Milli Vanilli. And sadly, one of them has passed, so I don't know. I don't know if that's Millie or if that's Vanilli. And then people start pulling out. People start pulling right out. They were like, oh, wait, we were misled. We didn't know. And look, admittedly, they didn't know the difference between America 250 and Freedom 250. They were like, we were told, when our agent sent us the email, we were told this would be like a state fair type of thing. We didn't know that it was gonna be this thing that divides people and this like Trump-backed thing that, you know, to his credit, Young MC was like, I can't be a part of this. Bret Michaels backed out. He was like, hey, yo, no. Flo Rida stayed. Vanilla Ice also. And Milli Vanilli. To be fair to Milli Vanilli, they don't have much going on right now, so they're kind of. But how fitting. How incredibly fitting for Trump to book Milli Vanilli. If you're not familiar with Milli Vanilli, they were like a pop duo. Huge. They had that one song. They had that one song, and look, they were two gorgeous men over here singing, we thought. They were over here singing, and look, I've seen the clip, but I admittedly don't know the song. I don't know if the song is actually called Girl, You Know It's True, or if that's just the part that skipped 85,000 times. Because they already had the dance number like fully choreographed and everything, and they're like, girl, you know it's 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 girl. And then everybody that was there was like, wait, what was that? Is that the remix? What? And then they were exposed for not being the ones actually singing. They had been lip syncing the whole time. And honestly, there was in entertainment, it feels like that moment was a little bit of like loss of innocence of the audience. Like up until then, maybe this was happening all the time. I'm sure it was, where like a singer would get sick and still need to perform, and so then they'd sing to a track, or they'd be having a backup track that was way louder than them. I'm sure that there are people who had Milli Vanilli-like careers and never even got caught, because maybe they didn't get popular enough, or maybe they just lucked out and they never had a track skip moment like that. But it's so fitting that someone like Trump would see Milli Vanilli and be like, yeah. It's like, it's irony on the level of a film. Because Trump has a very Milli Vanilli career himself. He's had plenty of Milli Vanilli moments. You know? Who would have ever thought that this huge global pop sensation actually wouldn't be singing their song? That actually sounds insane if you were to guess that before it was exposed. And likewise, Trump has had many Milli Vanilli moments. Who would have thought an American president would ever look right at the sun? I feel like right about then, even if you voted for Trump, you should have been like, uh-oh, that doesn't seem... Somebody had to yell, Mr. President, don't look at the sun. To a man that is grown and the president. They got Flo Rida. Flo Rida's like... Flo Rida's known for that, like, apple bottom jeans. You know what I mean? Yeah, that one song. He's known for that one song. You know, some would call him like a one-hit wonder in a way. I haven't kept up with him enough to know if there are other hits that have happened since I was in high school. But maybe there have been. But you could even, to a degree, call Trump a one-hit wonder. There was that one time that everybody liked him when he was in Home Alone 2 for 3 seconds. Jabby, if that had been the end of his career, we'd be like, Trump pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, no, he is. He pointed right there. He pointed right there. And then Macaulay Culkin walked over there. He did just what he was supposed to do. Makes sense that Trump would book Vanilla Ice. You know? Every time I see Vanilla Ice, I have a similar reaction to when I see Trump. They're mysteries to me, because when I see either one of them, at any point, I always ask myself, what is he doing? What is his plan? I look at Vanilla Ice rapping exactly like I look at Trump talking. I'm like, what is he saying? What is... And then people start pulling out. Trump was furious. He was like, I tricked these people fair and square. How dare they pull out like this? You fell for a ruse. I can't believe you wouldn't honor your word. And so then Trump said, hey, you know what? We don't need these third-rate artists. Which is such a funny insult when you booked, like you... The only thing I've seen that's exactly like that was one time. One time I was at the mall and this guy was trying to throw some game. He was shooting his shot at the cashier who was working at the Corn Dog 7. All right, and I think in his mind he was like, she already working at Corn Dog 7. I could show her a better life. And so, he was throwing this game down hard. He was over here like, what you doing? What you doing? And she was like, working. Just for all of us as men, if you ever get a one-word answer, it's probably not gonna happen. Don't put yourself through the struggle. Because she knows what he's trying to do, he knows what he's trying to do, but also one-word answer, it's not exactly conversation. He's like, what you doing? Working? Okay, well, you looking good. I mean, you looking very good. Look at you. And she went, my uniform? He was like, yeah, but I bet you look good in anything. I just noticed you over here, so I thought I'd come over and say hi, see if I could brighten your day the way you brighten mine just by shining in my direction. Yeah. Trust me, I was watching, try to get his attention, like. You know what I mean? I hate to see a slow train wreck, like. A fast one's interesting. You're like, wow, that came out of nowhere. A slow one is just like, hit the brake, hit the brake, hit the brake, hit the brake. And then, and then she was like, so are you gonna order something? Or... Mind you, there's no line. It's like, so you gonna order something? It's like, yeah, I was looking at all these numbers up here, and I was really just hoping I could get yours. Now, at this point, I have left my seat. I'm now off of this peripheral, like. And then he was like, yeah, I was hoping I could get yours. And then she said, I don't have a phone. Which is a hard, people always tell you when they're trying to give you confidence, when you want to approach somebody and, ask them out, that the worst thing they could say is no, but I don't have a phone. In a year that starts with 2000 is a little worse than no. And so then she's like, I have a phone. He's like, oh. I'm sorry. Wait. Don't make me laugh. Wait. Wait. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I'm so serious. Okay, wait. It's like, I have a phone. And then this dude went, oh. Maybe I could write you.
And I'm not, now at this point, I'm down on one knee, basically begging, like, stop!
And she like, because to be fair to her, I'm sure she thought the I don't have a phone thing would stop 99.9% of humanity. So when he asked if he could write her, she was like, I'm unhoused. I don't know what to tell you. And that was when he caught on. That was when you saw a switch where he was like, oh, she doesn't want, I'm being rejected. You see it, you know what I mean? I was close to him by now. I was actually, I was in line now. I was in line looking over his shoulder, and you could see in his face that for the first time it like clicked. Oh, she doesn't like me, she's not interested. So you saw this dude just like sit with it for a second, nod his head. I think his lip quivered a little. And he was like, I don't love you, and then walked away. And that's the same energy Trump had when he was over here tweeting third-rate artists over the people he booked. That's insane. Third-rate, you booked them. And so then he said, you know what? I don't even need these third-rate acts, all right? I mean, I know I can book somebody right now. You got bigger numbers than all of them. I can book somebody right now. Got more numbers than all of them put together. More numbers than Elvis. When he said more numbers than Elvis, I genuinely, for a quick second, because the movie is out and everything, I actually wondered if he genuinely thought Michael Jackson was still alive. Like. No, that would be the most Trump thing ever, to have like all these people pull out. Bret Michaels pull out, all these people pull out, and then turn to somebody and be like, get me Michael Jackson then. We're gonna show everybody. For a second, when I was reading his post, I was like, I think he thinks, because these are already a lot of artists from like a 90s, early 2000s type era. I'm like, I wonder who he's talking about. And then he was like, yeah, I get somebody, got more numbers than Elvis, could pack a whole arena. Me. Because that's not the only thing happening. That Freedom 250 concert is not the only thing happening. There's also UFC Freedom 250, sorry. And this is a weird thing for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of conflict in me with the direction that UFC has gone. For me, as someone who watches like mixed martial arts and stuff like that, I watch boxing, I watch like MMA, Muay Thai, I watch like karate tournaments, wrestling tournaments. I just like combat sports, which always surprises people in a way that's offensive. I tell people that I watch MMA and they're like, you? As if there's some sort of barrier to entry to watch. It's just on. I'm just using my eyes. I didn't say I do it. I tell people I watch MMA and they're like, they look at me like I just did a somersault. They were like, oh, okay. Didn't know you had it in you. But I watch a lot of it because here's my thing. I think that you can become genuinely invested in a person and their story, not just their skills. At the end of the day, all of combat sports is testing yourself and your skills against someone else and their skills. So I'm not like bloodthirsty. I'm not looking to see people have like lifelong injuries or anything like that. I think that the contest is interesting. And I think that these people, when you get to know them, a lot of these fighters are so much like the people you have in your life, and most of them are genuinely fighting to give their family a better life. You see the stories, and obviously there are some fighters that get really famous and we get to know them really well and we get an understanding of who they are as people, and then there are other fighters that come and go and we never really get to know them like that. But you can get incredibly invested. I've been invested in MMA for a long time because I always have a deep respect for people that can do things that I cannot do. Like I look at when I was a kid and how I was bullied. And then you look at a fighter like George St. Pierre, who was also bullied when he was a kid. But he got into karate and mixed martial arts, and this dude became a world champion. He turned all that bullying, all that pain, I'm sure a lot of that fear about the next time he'd be confronted into something incredible, into something really inspiring. And then there's people that maybe they don't become world champions, but you just see them in one fight. You could see so much of yourself in them. Like there's a fighter, I might mispronounce her name, I'm not trying to, but her name's Shi Ming. And Shi Ming's this tiny woman. I don't even remember what weight class she was fighting in, but she had what I believe was her UFC debut. And she got in there, this tiny, tiny little woman, and she fought her heart out. She fought with so much precision. It was genuinely astounding. She won by KO through a head kick and knocked out her opponent. And then they come to her for the post-fight interview in the octagon. And she had one of the sweetest voices. They asked her how she felt about her fight, and she was like, and your heart just melts as soon as she starts talking. They're like, how do you feel about your fight? Congratulations on your win. And she's like, I think I showed too much mercy. Mind you, her opponent left the octagon on a stretcher. So I'm sure if I was her opponent and I was laid there, I'd be like, what else could you have done? But that wasn't even the most astounding thing about her. Not that she was small or that she could fight so well or she had such a cute voice. Because later on in the same interview, she was like, yeah, a lot of people worry about me because I have bad eyes and I'm tiny, but in here I'm the boss. Which is chilling. But that's a thing that you can really connect with. You can really see yourself in that thing, being underestimated. And then proving that your skill is not to be taken lightly. It's an amazing thing. And the most amazing thing about it, when you really get into the story of the person and not just a fighter, is that you see that KO wasn't even the most interesting thing about her. This woman was a doctor. Yeah, she's a young doctor, just became a doctor, and her parents had no idea she was fighting. They found out with us. Imagine watching your daughter go to medical school, become a doctor, you go to graduation, everybody happy. She does her residency and everything. Is your daughter MD on a diploma? And then one weekend you flipping channels. And you see somebody that look like your daughter being interviewed by like Michael Bisping and saying, I think I showed too much mercy. And then a woman in the background just laid out. I think you'd be like, did she go to medical school just to know where to hit people? What? Imagine now, you fighting this young lady. Maybe it's this other person's debut too. We only really talk about the winners. We only really focus on the winners. Maybe it's this person's debut too. And they lose. And they put just as much in. They put just as much heart. They have skill. They've worked on their technique, but then it happens. Sometimes you lose. And you get the brakes beat off you. And then it's to the point where you lose bad enough that everybody, including your coach, is like, don't move. And you're like, don't worry, I wasn't gonna move. And then they actually carry you out of the octagon in a stretcher and take you to the hospital. And when you open your eyes, you see the woman that knocked you out. Standing over you. Nah. Nah, if I woke up and the person that knocked me out was also my doctor, I'd be like, I think I'm good. There was even a time where I felt like all of my friends were rediscovering or discovering for the first time the UFC in the pandemic, because when the pandemic hit and all these sports were just closed. They were like, we'll figure out what we can do, but right now we can't. Because fighting it's a team sport in theory. You have your people behind you. You've got your cut man, you got your trainer, you got your strength and conditioning coach. You have as many people to help you as you can afford or as are willing to help you. But at the end of the day, you got to be out there. And so what they did, UFC was, I believe, the first sport to come back. And what they did was they were able, through people's teams or just people being willing to be by themselves, made these bubbles. They made these like quarantine bubbles that people would stay in, and then they started to make fight cards. But because they could only have so many bubbles, and because it was hard to get travel, and it was even harder with travel just because of the pandemic, there were some people that got to fight like 4 times in a year, easy. They could turn right around in a fight that they hadn't been injured at all and fight again. This is something that's very difficult because normally when everybody's willing to fight, everybody's clamoring for a fight, it's hard to get booked again. But you saw people become real stars in the pandemic because they were able to fight 4 or 5 times in 1 year, which is crazy. The other thing that happened was that now, because there were no crowds, they were having these televised UFC events. But for the first time ever, you could hear through the camera that was shooting the show. Usually it's too loud. It's like an arena show. People are screaming, coaches are screaming. But for the first time ever, you could hear what the fighters were saying to each other the entire time. It was like a crazy, different experience. I don't know if we'll get something like that back fully, because it wasn't even something they planned for. They weren't like announcing it as some sort of feature. It just was what happened. And it was in that time, watching fights in the pandemic, where you could hear the fighters, that I realized how much like us, like me, they are even when they're fighting. We imagine these people fight like out of a movie where nothing hurts until they walk back to the locker room or something. But these people, there was one fight where it was a striker versus a wrestler, and the wrestler went in, took this dude down, and we all heard him go, "Oh, you strong." He was on the ground trying to get up, and the dude was trying to like climb him to get mount and everything, because then there's no getting up. And as he's fighting to not let this dude mount him, and as the dude's fighting to mount him, you just hear him go, "This sucks." I watched a heavyweight fight. I watched this heavyweight fight. Heavyweight fights are always tense because anything could happen. One shot, one punch could knock your opponent out. These are big, big guys. even in their technique, like the people who are wrestlers, if they take their opponent down hard enough, they might knock them out just like that. And I saw this big old dude just go for it, because some of these guys, the way they're built, they don't always have the best balance. Sometimes you can see them throw a kick and they look worried. Like a heavyweight will throw a kick, and unless they are like one of the agile heavyweights, while they're throwing the kick, you can see in their face where they're like, this is it. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna spin right around. But you saw this guy throw a kick to the body, and you even heard, because once again, you can hear everything better. So you even heard the pop of him connecting, kicked that dude in the side, pow. And then the fighter that he kicked went, oh. There was one fight Kevin Holland was in, who he has incredible striking. Kevin Holland's fights are always entertaining to watch. He's an incredible fighter. But there was one fight where he was getting wrestled hard and he was having trouble getting up from round to round. And because you could hear everything, you heard him turn to Khabib Nurmagomedov in the middle of the fight. He's got a corner, but he still turned to Khabib and was like, do you have any advice? Do you have any, look, I'm about to go back in. Say something. And I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly what I would be doing. If I survived one round of an MMA match in the UFC, I would immediately turn to everybody. I'd be looking at the crowd like, do y'all have any ideas? Y'all need to hurry. It's 12 seconds left. Say something quick. And now they're bringing a UFC event to the White House lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. They're gonna fight at the lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. No, I just want you to hear how it sounds to the rest of the world. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White. First of all, I didn't know the White House had that much lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. What is it? The president is gonna fight on the lawn. You know, it's like, and it's like they shouldn't just have a fight. It shouldn't just be a fight. There should also be like a Buick on blocks. No, they're gonna fight on the White House lawn. You know the White House. No, you know the place that he already tore up. They're gonna fight in front of a torn up White House. They are gonna make Washington, D.C. look as Oklahoma as possible. You got half the house demolished. You got a fight on the lawn. And look, I watch UFC from time to time. I love MMA. I watch a lot of MMA. But this is unnecessary. It's also a bad idea because it's an event outside, and there was just a shooting at the White House outside. This is why nobody believes these when they happen. No one has any like level of care or discernment or anything. That's why you look at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. There was a shooting, and then they continued the dinner. I've never had dinner good enough for a hot bullet. I've never been mid-meal and then had to leave for a shooting. You saw it was a shooting at the White House, and it completely. No, we just don't mind anymore. That should be a big deal that there was a shooting at the White House. Hey, you saw every single one of those reporters had different reaction. There was one reporter, you heard the gunshot, and look, you're a journalist, and you cover the president, so you should know what a gunshot sounds like by now. And so everyone had a different reaction. There were lots of people reporting White House in the background, and you were hearing the pops. And it was like 30 pops. You can't slam a car door that many times. You saw one reporter was over here as soon as the pop started. To her credit, as soon as the pop started, she was like, I really don't care about this job like that. And she went ahead and got off camera, moved out the way. She was done. Like, you can go look at the footage. She was gone. She was like, nah, I'm good. I can do something else. I look good on camera. I can do plenty of other things. I talk well. And then there was a reporter. This man tried to keep reporting. You could see where he short-circuited a little bit, because he was gonna try to keep reporting, and then he heard like the 28th shot, and he was like, never mind. Like, this man was up here like, today, Democrats called out the pop, Supreme Court for pop. You know what? And then he took the mic off. Why take the mic off? Just move. The mic is not weighing you down. Shooting on the White House lawn, and then you had that one reporter, pop, and then she was like, what is that? You know you've lived a good life when, as an American, you don't recognize gunfire. What is that? What, do y'all hear that? What is... When she leaned her head out, I was so mad at her. I don't even know her personally, but I was like, no. We don't check for gunfire head first. Over here. What is that? And then someone said gunfire, and she was like, oh. Oh. You got this UFC event on the front lawn. Freedom 250 concert. Confusing everybody. It's so insane. This is so stupid. This is like remarkably stupid. This whole thing. It's like, I get it. It's 250. You gotta celebrate, but not like this. Not like this. Is like revolving door level stupid. This is the most infuriating. I don't want you to do the trade. You're not good at trading. You've been bankrupt a lot. Like, and the whole time he was in China, I was like, I know I'm asking a lot. I know I'm asking a lot. But I was watching TV while Trump was in China. I was like, please don't say anything racist. 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 And then he was at this then I don't know what it was. The camera was in too tight, but he was talking to them there. And I was like, well, oh boy. Yeah, I mean, this is like letting your great uncle give the toast at Thanksgiving. You're like, something's about to happen. And Trump said, Trump said, we in America have more Chinese restaurants than any other type of restaurant. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, y'all, that wasn't that bad. Y'all, it could have been way worse. We sent an 80-year-old man to China to talk. That could have been rough. Ooh. And admittedly, I didn't see everything, but I remember when I was watching that, and he was like, yeah, we got more Chinese restaurants than we have McDonald's, KFC's, and Taco Bell's, and Burger King's combined. I was like, he did his homework, I guess. Y'all know the bullet that we dodged. That was crazy. That really felt off the cuff, too. I was like, as soon as he stopped reading the teleprompter, I'm like, well, uh-oh. He's gonna... Oh, no. Man. This dude's supposed to be some sort of supreme negotiator. And he went over to China, and the whole time, I was like, I have a bad feeling. I don't know. Every time he talks to a world power, he does end up kind of giving them what they want. Terrified, you might as well just shown up to China with a menu. Been like, what parts of America would you like? Because then, coming away from this summit, apparently there's going to be 500,000 more Chinese students able to come to universities in the U.S., and there's going to be even more purchases of China buying farmland here. This is as like farmers here that own their land are like foreclosing at like 46%. This is very bad. This man. And then he was talking about President Xi in an interview, and he was like, he's all business, no games. And as well as like, as soon as he started talking, I was like, oh, I feel like he has even made us forget that is what your president is supposed to be. It's very telling that Trump was like, man, he all business. I'm over here trying to dab him up and everything. And I'm not even kidding. Trump is like, yeah, there's no talking about the weather with this guy. He's not like, hey, let's look up at the stars. Sometimes I low-key think he's just talking about things he'd like to do with them. Like, it's like there's no looking up at the stars, there's no looking up at the sun, and I was like, please do not tell me you looked at the sun at the China summit. You would have been the only one, and they would have been wondering, what is he doing? What is he doing? It appears he's trying to blind himself. It's crazy, man. It's crazy because then in the interview, this man's talking about, and he's like, "No, it's good. It's good that China's gonna buy up the farmland, and that there's gonna be like 500,000 Chinese students coming over and everything." Because he's like, without that, the infrastructure would collapse. And I'm like, dog, what are you talking about? What? Why are you telling us that now? He shows up like he's like fixed some sort of problem. It's like, we didn't know any of that. That's terrifying. He's like, yeah, if they don't come over and come to our schools, the schools are going to close. And if they don't buy up the farmland, it's going to foreclose anyway. And it's like, it feels like he doesn't live here. Do you know what I mean? Like, he definitely talks about, when you talk about actual problems of everyday Americans, he definitely talks about it like he's not from here. Where it's just like a general idea, where he's like, oh, that sucks for them. It's like, dog, you're the president of this country. Man. Look, and admittedly, I don't even know how that's going to work. I don't know the visa system. I don't know what those students coming over actually means for students here. I can't pretend to know. But I do know the farmland thing is bad. The farmland thing, that's pretty direct. Like, that was like, no, we can see it, and now they own it, and they're not even here. Like, what do they want with it? What did they, like, because then it just feels like you're buying up pieces of America, which does look like what's happening. I never thought that, like, we would be for sale this hard. I knew we were for sale for, like, the Epstein billionaires. I didn't know we were for sale to, like, anybody. I can't imagine what that was like for this week. Being with Trump in China and being a translator. Because Trump being himself, and once again, 80-year-old man that is just, saying his thoughts out loud. Even when he was on Air Force One and he was coming back, he was Air Force One. He was coming back, and then a journalist asked him, "Did you talk to President Xi about the cyber attacks that China's been engaging in that have been digging into our infrastructure or just like threatening our financial systems? Like, did that come up at all?" And I wish I could have been on that plane. I wish I could have been on that plane to then ask the journalist, what do you think? No, like, truly, what do you think? This guy on camera for the world was like, we have more Chinese restaurants than y'all. That's the guy you think asked about cybersecurity. And then Trump starts to answer a question. Trump is basically like, hey, look, it didn't come up in that way, but they spy on us and we spy on them and we do a bunch of spying on them. Like, everything they do to us, we do to them too. And I was like, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? What are you saying? They're still watching, by the way. You haven't taken off yet, I don't think. You're still there. It's like, yeah, everything that they do to us, we do to them too. And sometimes we do even more. Like, they have spies over here, but we got plenty of spies over there doing all the spying. I want you to imagine for a second being a Chinese spy here. You're a Chinese spy, and you're here. You're in the U.S., and you're a Chinese spy. You're a Chinese spy here. And you're watching that, and you're a Chinese spy here. And you watch. I feel like he has made the job of a Chinese spy so difficult
because he tells everything already. So then there's nothing for the Chinese to spy on. He'll just say stuff, and then the Chinese spy will be like, that's what I was about to WhatsApp anyway. This man taking my whole job. They think I'm not doing work. They think I'm up here sipping Mai Tais and stuff because every time I try to send them something that's already in the news because he already said it, I can't even spy fast enough because he's saying everything too quick. Trump is over here being like, yeah, they spy on us, but we spy on them a bunch. We doing all manner of stuff to them, spying on them consistently. We can't stop spying on them. Imagine, you're an American, spying in China. And you're watching that, and you're like, oh. It's like, oh, they spy on us. We spy on them a heck of a, they're doing a lot of stuff to us. But, I told them, we do stuff to y'all all the time. Stuff you probably don't even know about. I was like, shut up. 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 Shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh, shut up. Oh, shut up. And so I can't imagine. I cannot imagine being there with this administration and being an interpreter. That's gotta be very difficult to be an interpreter in the moment because, Trump just says what's on his mind. He just feels the room and then whatever comes to mind is what he says. I'm sure he was standing there with President Xi, closed door meetings. We're talking about trade. We're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about how the two world powers are going to move together, especially with the contentious state of Taiwan, right? Will we recognize Taiwan? Will China grab that full ownership of Taiwan that they claim? All these things are happening in the room. This is intense, and you're an interpreter. You're the only one that understands what both people are saying. And then Trump turns to you and says, ask them why they haven't come out with Rush Hour 4 yet. And now you, as an interpreter, look at the president like, my president wanted to ask you, my president was looking to ask you about cyber attacks. I feel like I have so many different feelings popping up all the time as I get older. I recognize that by no means am I like, some old man, but I am old enough now that people are concerned when I try to do a backflip. You would be surprised. I feel, I try to stay fairly fit. I know I'm not the biggest guy in the world or anything, and I know a backflip is it can be difficult to do. It's not just you don't just think about it and then you do it, right? But when I even mentioned to my friends that I want to attempt a front flip or a back flip, they looked at me like I said I was taking up heroin. They were like, what? Why? And I was like, I don't know. My whole life I thought it was so cool. And so I was like, let me just, before I actually can't do it, let me try to do it. Let me learn to do it. Just a thing to do. Remember when you were little and you just tried stuff because it looked cool? That's why. There's no big reason. I'm not gonna join the circus. I'm not leaving everything behind. I just want to do a front flip or back flip. I'm not even trying to be greedy. I'm not trying to get both flips. I will take one flip, whichever way works for me first. And they were like, "What? How old are you?" And I was like, what's happening? Just want to try. Is that crazy? And now I tried a couple times. I couldn't quite get it. I was basically getting 3/4 of the way at most, right? And so it was meaning I was like falling on my butt a lot and stuff like that. And I didn't hurt myself or anything. But now I messed up. And I told the wrong people my dream. Now I'm paranoid. This is why sometimes you gotta keep your dream to yourself. Now I'm paranoid because then when they look at me and I say I want to do one of the flips, and they look at me like I don't have feet. Like they're like, how? I'm like, the same way other people do eventually. I'm not trying to invent a new way to do it. I just want to flip. But now I know I can't get hurt. Now if I get hurt, all the haters will be like, see, this is why you don't dream. Stop dreaming. Stop believing in yourself. I have a couple supportive friends, but then my friends who are supportive of the flip are almost too supportive, where they're like, they'll see me fall and be like, get up and give it another go. I'm like, well... That last one was a close call. Let's not go crazy here. It's hard to know the appropriate amount of supportive to be when someone has a dream. People have told me their dreams before, and luckily, I have some fairly realistic friends. It's very easy to support their dream. I had a friend one time tell me that they had a real interest and a real love for textiles and stuff like that. And so they wanted to one day open up their own fabric shop. And I was like, that's great. That's fantastic. And that's an achievable dream. You come up with a business plan, you put it in the right location, dream away. Dream hard, dream big. Big fabric shop. You'll be Fabric Walmart. You can hype a person like that up. You can, because there's just something, first of all, there's something so genuine about the thing. It is from a place of passion, and it is from a sort of business model that we have seen work since we've been wrapping stuff around our bodies. It is difficult when you have a friend who is like, I'm gonna be a famous singer. And then you're like, uh-oh. No, it's not that I don't believe. It's not that I don't believe in people. I try to hype up people's dream. And here's the thing that I don't do. I never voice my disbelief. All I try to do is guide them to a thing that I think will help them to get better to where I might believe in their dream. And so then, when they were like, I'm gonna be a famous singer, I was like, you can be famous. anything. You can be famous for anything. That's half it right there. Get famous first and then la-da-da. And then that way, because here's the thing, they want to be a famous singer, but they can't. And look, that sounds bad. That sounds horrible because we as Americans have no idea what it actually means to be nice. We actually don't. We call people from other countries rude, and they it's their custom to be blunt, and so that's rude. But we are also being rude when we lie. It's not nice to lie to a person in their face, a thing that you don't believe, a thing that won't happen. But we keep up such niceties that we think that we're nice while we are actually being really mean by not being realistic with people. And so I told them a thing that I believe, which is that you can be famous. They could do anything else to become famous. They could be a serial killer, anything. They could No, seriously, they could go ahead and serial kill and like chop. And then if they get famous enough, that then they get the prison interview, because when you real famous, they go to prison to see you, right? And then in the prison interview, they could be like, oh yeah, I'll answer all your questions. And then they sit down with Barbara Walters or whoever, and then they just start belting. They just start like giving it a go. And then when they can't find the note, because they won't, when they can't find the note, that's when they can be like, oh, okay, well, at least I got halfway there, you know? Because it's like I try to be nice by being supportive in the way that I can actually support. I can actually support a person's dream if I can help them see that. If I can help them see the distance between where they are right now and where their dream is, I feel like I'm actually helping them. Because there's sometimes where people think their dream is so far away, crazy far away. My friend that wanted to open that fabric shop thought, you know, how will I ever get the money? And I was like, there are grants for small businesses. There are so many different things that you can do. You can also partner with people. You can try to partner with a brand, you know, build yourself up online, and then that way you can parlay some of that social goodwill into your business, because what you're ultimately trying to do is have like a brick and mortar that people can come to that is a real experience you can have with another person, that isn't just like another online store that's taking your money and promising you something and delivering something else and then being, you know, absolutely terrible to make a return to. You're trying to be there with people on a thing that you care about, and you think that your dream is here and you're way over there, and that's just not true. So let me show you how close you are to your dream. And then when someone thinks that their dream is going to happen tomorrow, and you know they'll die before it happens, like that they cannot sing. Because here's the thing. It would be different if they were trying to sing and they were in somewhat way trained. Because I could then be like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just not the type of music I like. You know, like I've been to a few operas, and there's a couple operas that I've been to that are absolutely beautiful in my mind, and then there are some where I'm like, this is not clicking with me at all. I think that this might be bad. You know, because I've seen I think 3 or 4. Yeah, I've seen 3 operas, right? And the first opera I saw was absolutely beautiful, and I couldn't even tell what was being sung because it was being done in that traditional Italian, and they had some subtitles for some scenes and everything, but still you just see the emotion coming out of the person singing, and the way they're belting, the way they're filling this room with no microphone. They're filling up this room, and it's like you can feel almost like bass in a trunk when you have like tweeters on or whatever. You can feel their voice like reverbing through. It was an insane experience. And it got me thinking like, oh, I must just like love opera. Turns out I loved that opera. I saw a different opera, and I was like, yeah, I'm not clicking with this thing at all. And that's because, like any other discipline, like any other set of art, one instance of the thing can't represent the whole thing. So then I saw my third opera, and I was like, this is amazing. Maybe I do love opera, I just didn't like that opera. Maybe that one just wasn't for me. But when I heard my friend sing, I was like, I don't think I like voices. Like, it's rare. I've heard music before that someone else liked that I didn't click with right away. Like some people like that screaming rock. Some people like the mumble rap. Some people like old classic rock with like some of those licks, and then people like kind of humming under it and everything like that. There's all these different tastes for music. And when I heard them sing, I was like, I don't think I like noise. Like, it took me to a place I've never been before. Even the opera I saw that I did not like, the opera that I liked the least, that middle one, even in that one I was like, they are singing, I'm just not following the plot that well, and I'm just like, it's just not hitting in my soul the way the first one was, and the way that the third one did. And what they hit in my soul, I feel like was an organ. Like, I feel like they did something to like my ear. I didn't know that your hearing is like these tiny hairs that are sensitive to the sound, and that you need when those hairs die, you lose some of your hearing. I didn't know any of that until I looked it up after I heard them sing, listen. That was the first time I heard someone sing, and afterwards my ears were ringing, and I was like, what is that? Because I looked it up, and when your ears are ringing like that pitch ringing, not a ringing like a headache. When your ears are ringing that like little pitch hearing that like in the back, and it's sustained and it doesn't go away for like a day, that's actually you losing hearing at that frequency for like life. And so it's kind of beautiful in a way that eventually I will hear them less. Like that's But they have a dream. They have a dream. And I think that it's important that I let them know the distance between them and their dream is like it's the same distance, because they have so much passion when they're singing, but their dream and the distance to that dream is it's the same distance from where their voice is to where the key is. Like, it's and look, I'm not someone with perfect pitch. I'm not some music snob or anything. I've liked plenty of things that other people thought were bad and annoying music. I love going to musicals. I love, like even with opera, some people can't handle when people have that real, like, reverb to their voice and just can belt like that, right? I love all of that stuff. I really do. And I just think that when I hear them sing, it makes me realize that I'm not tone deaf. Like, all these years I thought maybe I was tone deaf because I'd be watching American Idol with my mom and I'd be like, why is Simon being so mean? I think they're doing all right. And then eventually I realized, like, oh, I'm not catching the pitch. Like, they are off, you know? Like, that's why Paula's not putting them through, because Paula would put anybody through. Like, Paula might as well have been waving people to third base in Hollywood. You would show up acting crazy and Paul would be like, I love your energy. Let's send you along. I love it, right? But yeah, this whole time in my life, I thought I was actually tone deaf. And then I heard my friend sing, and I was like, that's of the devil. I don't know what key that is, but it's not one of the black ones or the white ones. You singing gray right now. That is absolutely insane. It's why I wish, sincerely, I wish, like, you know, more of my friends could experience what I experience. I get to travel all over the country, all over the world. I get to meet incredible people. I get to see the beautiful sights that the people that I'm meeting are used to. Like sometimes you can take these mountains and this open sky for granted. This place is incredible. But I especially wish that I could bring my friend who sings here. You know, so that they could try. And be winded immediately. You all been great. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Make some noise for your host. Thank you so much for coming out.